we need to get a little bit more with the program. Okay, we can't be messing up the game for ourselves. Let's set a few things straight. Not everybody's going to agree with everything I have to say, and you know what? That's okay. We're individuals, kind of like a food. Some people might like it, some people might not. For some dishes, you might need to have an acquired taste. But regardless of the fact, I'm gonna be honest, like I always do, and I'm gonna let y'all know what you need to do to step your game up. I'm gonna put it like that. Point number one, remember that you're a woman. Remember that life comes from you. Remember that women birth men. So why are y'all going after men as if you need them, as if women don't create men in their bodies and birth them and bring them into planet Earth? Sis, do I have to sit here and remind you that? Do I have to sit here and remind you, bestie to bestie? This is our FaceTime call. I have to sit here and remind you that you that girl. You can't look in the mirror and be like, damn, that's me. Lucky. If I answer the phone call, you think I'm going to be over here double, triple texting a man, overextending? I don't think so. I don't think so, sis. Get it together. Take a step back. We're right here right now. 1, 2, 3. Sis, bring it back to 4. 4 steps back. Stop doing so much. Stop doing so much, because you know what the problem is? The problem is that the more that you do for a person, the more they expect to do. And the less satisfied they are with the things that you do go out of your way to do for them. Why? Because they get used to that. They get used to it. They start to expect it. They start to take it for granted. They start to act like you owe them something. Lucky that I'm cooking for you on Saturday. Don't expect that every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday too. The more that you do for a person, you're making yourself become more accessible. And you're not that, sis. You were not born to serve other people. Rule number 1. And you know what? I know that we've been talking up until this point primarily about our relationships with men, but I want to make it very clear, for the record, that this is not just about your relationship with any man. This is about any relationship that you have with anyone other than yourself. Girl to girl. I'm gonna let you know right now. All that time, all that effort, all that energy, all that money that you are investing in another person could have gone to you instead. Well, what do you mean, Alexis, gone to me? I mean, enrolling in that educational program you've been talking about since 2019. I mean, going after that body that you've been talking about since 2022. I'm talking about using that gym membership that you pay for every month but don't use. I'm talking about starting up that small business that you had the idea for. God planted the seed for you to get this thing done, and God keeps giving you signs, do this, do that, and you're not doing it. I'm talking about cleaning your house. I'm talking about cleaning your car. I'm talking about getting a facial. Oh, wait, you don't have the capacity to invest in yourself, your body, your vision, your goals, your education, your peace and quiet, your spa night. Because you're arguing with men, you're spending money on friends that are using you, you're worried about the next person on Instagram, the last celebrity on TikTok. I don't care. My point is that we are honestly taking up too much of our life and giving it to people who don't deserve it. Stop doing that. Stop. All right, 2025, we're not bringing that with us. And I'm not saying that you have to be cold. I'm not saying that you have to be detached. I'm just saying that you need to take a step back, because at the end of the day, the most important relationship that you will ever have, number 1 is your relationship with God, and number 2 is your relationship with yourself. So make sure that those things are straight before you move on to filling other people's cups. Number 1. Number 2. And related to what I was just saying about setting goals for yourself, make sure, sis, that you are pursuing them. Make sure that you are blocking out time in your calendar. From 7:30 to 8, I'm going to do my skincare. From 5 to 6, I'm going to be at the gym. From 10 to 12, I'm going to be in class. Set that time aside in the calendar for yourself and make sure that it's a priority. Don't let other people get in the way of that. Don't let favors that think that you're obligated to do for people get in the way of that. Do not ever cancel your plans because you want to accommodate somebody else or do a favor for someone else. Number one, you might not even want to do that thing, you just feel pressured. Say no. Number two, you might not have the time to do that thing, and you know you don't have the time to do that thing, but you feel pressured. Say no. Or number three, even if you have the time, even if you don't feel pressured, maybe you honestly just want to do that thing because you love the person and you want to show them how much you care. But you know, deep down inside, that if the tables were turned, that person would not be there for you. That same person that you're about to sacrifice for would not make the same sacrifices for you. And yet you still continue, you still proceed, you make the active decision to do this thing anyway. Sis, stop. I'm gonna let you know if no one has. Bestie to bestie, sis, we can't mess up the game for ourselves. We have to remember that we are the prize. And honestly, even if we weren't, we're going to make ourselves the prize because we as individuals are important. We as women are important. Your goals are important. The things that you want to get done is important. And don't let anyone come in the way of that. Stop sacrificing your peace, your time, your mental health, and your money for people who don't deserve it. Just stop. Just stop. And even if they did deserve it, like I said, there are limits, there are boundaries, there are certain thresholds that people are allowed to meet, but they can't go any further, sis. You can't give away your life. It's limits to things, and you have to know when to say no, and you have to know when to prioritize yourself. On a related topic, I also want to talk about the importance of having discipline and knowing when to say no. And I'm going to use the example of food just because I feel like it's very relatable. I have a certain, like a calorie restriction. Let's say that I'm close to my calorie restriction. And this happened the other day. Someone comes over with some pizza. Am I going to have the pizza? No one's going to stop you. You have to make the decision for yourself. You have to hold yourself accountable. You have to remind yourself that if you yourself set a goal, then you yourself should be disciplined enough to adhere to it, regardless of who's cheering you on, regardless of who's watching you, regardless of if anyone is going to know. You know that if you eat this pizza, you are going to be over your calorie limit. Hold yourself accountable. Is that a decision that you want to make? I don't know. But you know what? You can tell who decides yes and who decides no. All right, when you're at the gym and you see that person with that clean cut body that you've been after, you think that they chose yes in those instances, or you think that they chose no? I'm just being realistic here. When you see a person graduate, we know that that comes with lots of homework. We know that that comes with long nights. And there were times where they wanted to hang out with their friends, but at the same time, they had an assignment that was due. You choose. Do you get the assignment done or do you not? No one's going to hold you to it. But you as an individual have to take yourself seriously enough to know when to say yes, to know when to say no, to set those goals and to stick to them. Because you're the one that's either going to hurt. Don't forget to subscribe like right now. Comment below what videos you're interested in seeing. Bestie, we need to continue the conversation. Next point that I want to talk about. And like I said at the beginning, not everybody may agree with this. That's okay. I'm going to say what I need to say because this is my channel, boo. If you don't like it, start your own channel, talk about what you want to say. What I have to say is that you look the part. Look the part. Look the part. Put your best foot forward. Not for anybody else, but for you. Get yourself together. When you package yourself, do so as if you are about to meet the president himself. Okay, maybe that's a little bit extreme. You don't have to go out every single day with a full face of makeup on. You don't have to wear heels everywhere you go. And there's ways to do things and still be modest. However, take care of yourself and take pride in yourself. And that's what this comes back to. And I'm going to repeat it. You are looking the part because you take pride in yourself. Because you respect yourself. You respect yourself enough to comb your hair. You respect yourself enough to brush your teeth. you respect yourself enough to buy yourself a nice bottle of perfume and put it on to go to sleep. Not because you're trying to attract anyone, not because you want to impress people at work, but because you deserve that. And that's what I'm going to say about that. You have your dignity, you have your self-respect that you need to present to the world every time you step out. And even when you're in private, even when you're in the comfort of your own home, still take a shower, still brush your teeth, still put on your chapstick, still put on clean pajamas, a matching PJ set, still light a candle for you. Show up in the best way that you can. People will judge you based on how you look. You will judge yourself based on how you look. It just is what it is. Looks, at the end of the day, matter. How you feel about yourself, at the end of the day, matters. Let's call a thing a thing. Let's call a thing a thing. You want to buy some flowers. Are you going to buy the ones that are bruised? No, you're not going to want to spend money on that. You're just not. We're not rewriting the rules here. No matter how upsetting it may or may not be, no matter whether or not you agree with the principle, the fact of the matter is that even a plate of food when you go to a restaurant is presented in a way so that it can be aesthetically pleasing, so that people want to come back, so that people feel like they're getting their money worth when they purchase this food, when they purchase this car, when they purchase these flowers. That's why marketing is a thing. That's why advertising is a thing. So even though it might take some extra time and money to get your nails done, do it for you. Because people are going to take you more seriously, and that's going to change the way that you think about and feel about yourself. I promise. This, like I said, is not to attract necessarily. It's not to impress necessarily. First and foremost, like I said at the very beginning, this is about your relationship with yourself, how you treat yourself, how you view yourself, and because you know that you are worthy of being upkept and nicely packaged, okay? Like a nice, pretty little garden. This is about how you experience the world and how the world experiences you. And that's my motto. That's my catchphrase. This is like words to live by. How does the world experience you, and how do you experience the world? Well, as a queen, of course, but you have to live up to that. Not always easy, but you need to treat yourself in a way that is reflective of your internal state and of how you feel of yourself. It's so funny, right? Because I was supposed to go to the gym today with my dad at like 7 o'clock, and it's about 5:30 right now, and he literally just called me and was like, can we go tomorrow instead? All right, cool. We can go tomorrow. You know, I get it. People are tired. It's cold outside. We're in the middle of December. I get it. Me, on the other hand, I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do. Discipline. But on the topic of just taking care of yourself, looking good, feeling good, there is another point that I wanted to address. All right, you guys know I'm very open on my channel, so I do want to speak on this. As a woman, this is just part of our lives and everyday conversation, and that's plastic surgery. Now, I'm not here to judge anybody. At the end of the day, I have my life and my body. You have your life and your body. You do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. Leads me to really just not caring. I don't care what people think of me, and I don't really think much about other people because that's none of my business. But I know sometimes there are people who need like some reassurance, not even encouragement, but just like, it's okay. And that's what I'm here to do, is let you know. You might not be interested in plastic surgery, but if you are a girl who's interested in it, listen, if you have the money, because it's not cheap, but if you have the money, sis, and if you have the flexibility, sis, do it. It's your life. If it's going to make you feel more comfortable to have fake boobs, go pay for that silicone, sis. If you don't like your stomach, get that lipoed out, sis. I mean, who am I to tell you not to? Sometimes, like I said, we as women just need a little like, it's okay to do this. You have every right to pursue this thing if it's going to make you feel more comfortable, more happy in your body and in your skin. So number one, if it's something that you want to do, do it. Number two, let's call a thing a thing. And it's so funny because Cardi B was literally like just talking about this. Y'all really be telling on yourselves, because it be people out here who like low key, not even low key, because it's pretty obvious, really want the surgeries that you're out here bashing other people for. Even if it's something that you don't want, like, it shouldn't bother you what somebody else does with their body. Just focus on yourself. You don't want to look like that? Don't worry, you don't have to. Save your money. You don't have to spend it on your body if you don't want to. But don't be mad at the next girl who chose to pay a little extra to look like a Barbie. Okay, that was her choice. Don't worry about it. Also, I think that sometimes we worry too much. This is a different point now. we worry too much about what other people are going to think of the decisions that we make instead of thinking about how we feel about the decisions that we are or are not making. Don't worry about what another person is going to think if you do X. Just do X if that's what you want to do. You should be more concerned about what you're going to think of yourself if you don't do something that deep down inside you know you want to do. Don't worry about the next person. A lot of the times, like I said, people are projecting. People are mad at you, not because you're doing the wrong thing, but because you're actually doing the right thing. And so they're mad. Let them be mad, but don't let that stop you from doing you, sis. Friend to friend, FaceTime call, me to you. Just do what you need to do and stop focusing on other people and what they're going to think or what they're going to say about it, because it's irrelevant. They're probably just mad anyway because they want to do it. That's probably what it is. And even if that's not the case, even if they're like actually mad about it, so what? Be mad about it. Like, okay, that's one side of the coin. It's also important to address the flip side of the coin. And this is going to be my last point, and then we're wrapping this up. The flip side of the coin is that, and this is a very real possibility. You ready? Hear me out. The flip side of the coin is that people are actually not thinking about you. Can you believe it? People have lives, have problems, have situations, have financial difficulties, have health problems, and they're not worrying about what Alexis is doing because they're focusing on what's going on in their home. I think a lot of the time we are kind of caught up in our own heads about what people are or are not going to think about it, when either it doesn't matter what they think about it or they're not thinking about it at all because they're not worrying about you. So like, just do you. Just do you. Just do you. Let's say you want to make a YouTube channel. No one is like sending your videos like back and forth to each other and laughing about it and talking about you, right? Because they're at work. They're not worrying about your YouTube channel. They're not worried about my YouTube channel. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Or if they do have some kind of negative comment about it, they're probably just mad and hating. And let them be mad and hating. They're still giving you the views. But in either case, that should not hinder you as an individual. If it's something that you want to do, just give it a shot. And then if it doesn't work out, you know, it doesn't work out, but at least you can say that you tried. It's not like it didn't work out because you didn't give yourself a chance because you were scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of nobody. Just do what you have to do. So that's it. Like I said, don't forget to like. Please do not forget to subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe right now. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's other videos that you guys want to see, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.